Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Valley Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge, welcome to the Thursday edition, the NFL Draft Edition, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, and Jordan Kinch's back in the studio. Colucci with us from Vegas. Matt Euman's with us from Vegas. We'll get their thoughts on the NFL Draft. That starts tonight at 7 o'clock. We know who the first pick is going to be, but after that, man, it is going to be an interesting exercise, to say the least. Jimmy, it's been, I think, somewhere around 40-plus years since I was faking being sick so I could stay home from school to watch the NFL Draft, and now we get it in prime time.
Used to be during the week, during the day, huh?
Yeah.
Like a Thursday?
Every April I would come up with some mysterious illness.
But when did they stop doing during the week, during the day?
In the early 90s, I think. They switched it over into prime time. I don't remember the exact year, but I seem to remember being in college by the time where I no longer had to fake being sick. I could just stay home and watch the draft. Yeah. But it was, I think, somewhere in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, something like that. They switched it. But, I've seen the little documentaries and stuff about, they used to do this in a hotel room, a hotel ballroom in New York City.
Right.
And it was basically done, not on a chalkboard, but on a poster board where they'd put the picks up, and everybody was in that room with the helmet phones and all that stuff. Come a long way with the NFL Draft.
ESPN has been broadcasting it since 1980.
1980, yeah, and I read that first one, the late Paul Zimmerman.
Yes,
Dr. Z was on there.
From Sports Illustrated,
was one of their lead analysts, and wow, probably, I don't know if Mel Kiper was on the first one, but he was very, very, very early.
Well, think about it. When was he going crazy when
the Jets?
No, with the Colts.
Oh, it was the Colts pick, yeah, that's right. That would have probably been
Trev Alberts, right? Wasn't it the pick on Trev Alberts?
Jeff Lageman, maybe? No, that was the Jets. Might have been. He went crazy. The executive went crazy.
Yeah.
Who
was it? Was it?
Lageman stands in my mind, but that's not right. It was some guy. I can't remember. But he went crazy. The executive went crazy. Who is Mel Kiper Jr.? Kiper said, "Hey, I'm pretty confident."
Well, it wasn't a good night this last year for Mel on the Shedeur Sanders thing.
No, Shedeur kind of took over a lot of the coverage last year of this draft, and I didn't. Well, I understood why they were covering.
It was Trev Alberts, 1994, Mel Kiper, and Colts GM Bill Tobin. He had passed up on Trent Dilfer and drafted Trev Alberts.
Well, Dilfer had a better career than
Alberts. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? 94.
Dilfer definitely had a better career than Alberts. After the first pick tonight, which has been etched in stone for months, after that, Jimmy, I'm not willing. There's a lot of years where I say, okay, I'm as certain as I can be that this guy will be the number 2 pick, this guy will be the number 3 pick, and sometimes you can even nail the top 5. But this year, after Mendoza, I'm not 100% sure of anything, and that starts with the second pick. And this just in, we're once again wondering what the Jets will do. We're always wondering what the Jets will do. And there seems to be not quite a 50-50 split, but close on who the Jets will take, whether that'll be David Bailey or Arvell Reese. The odds have flipped back and forth a couple of times this week. Bailey's the current favorite at -135 and Reese is +105, but that has been reversed earlier in the week, and it's very, very close. I don't necessarily have a betting favorite here. I think this is a coin flip. If you're looking to bet this one right now, and these things are going to come off the board later this afternoon.
At the over
I would take whoever's got plus money.
Over here at plus money to go 2.
Yeah, to go number 2.
I'm looking at the the trifectas that we have over here at DraftKings at Bally's, and it got you get exact the first 3 in order, and it's you've got about 4 combinations. Mendoza is number 1 in all of them.
Yeah.
But then
it's like you got a trifecta key.
You got Bailey, then Reese. You got Reese, then Bailey. Bailey, then Love. Reese, then Love. So all 4 of those anywhere from plus 170 to plus 330. So Love to 3. I don't know. And listen, even who was it? Daniel Jeremiah. I think he says they flat out. I just so skeptical of the information that people will get. Oh, the people that are reporting that the club is thinking this. How are you going to tell? How are you going to tell somebody your draft plans? How are you going to? How? I don't. And Jeremiah says they flat out gave me when offered me bogus information to throw me a head fake. They wanted it out. Okay,
sure.
I know, but so much of this stuff is based on, reports and stuff. Like who is? I'm coming in. I'm Joe Media guy, and I come in there and they're not going to tell me what their plans are.
Of course not. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't.
Every smokescreen has got a reason for it. You would think anyway. Or I don't. The Jets don't have to throw anybody head fake. They can take whoever they want. They know who's going to be there. They can take whoever they want.
Now the information of who comes in for a workout and stuff like that, who does not, come in for a workout. I get that, but again, we're constantly referencing mocks. How much of these mock drafts change? I mean, it just. So what are you on the record for? What mock is it? I just so much BS, man. Covering a draft, and still, Las Vegas hates booking a draft.
Yeah, the problem with mocks is the first trade throws you off. Okay, because if you get a team that moves up,
how about the first surprise?
Oh, the first surprise, yeah. And sometimes that's with a trade. A team moves up. We were talking about Dallas right before the show. Dallas may move up if somebody like Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles falls down a little bit further. They maybe make a move up to number 6 with Cleveland. I don't think the Giants would trade with them at 5, and the Saints never trade down, so they're at 8. But Washington or Cleveland at 6 or 7 might be interested in a trade if Dallas wanted to move up. And that's generally what throws the mocks off, is whenever you get that big surprise, that big curveball, that's what throws them all off. Because then players are available that you don't think would be available. Every general manager that has these press conferences after is like, well, we didn't think so-and-so was going to be there. And look what happened. Well, we got a guy – was the number 1 guy on our board. Everybody's taking the number 1 guy on their board, right? never get snaked on a pick.
Yeah, just so we do have a good menu. The Saints, they don't have every team up as far as the first player that they put by position, the first player drafted by every team. Got about a little over 20 of the 32 that they have, but they do not have the Saints. All the other 3 teams in the NFC South are up, but the Saints are not up right now. So we'll see.
Jordan Tyson is another guy that is getting an awful lot of smoke, if you want to say that, getting into the top 10, the Arizona State wide receiver, and whether you have the proper – Mickey Loomis said yesterday, we're not one player away. But the other thing he said was, we don't want to have any questions about our first pick. Well, Jordan Tyson has been mocked to the Saints in a lot of these things, and right now he is the odds-on favorite, or was a little while ago, to be the number 8 pick in the draft. Well, I don't know how you could draft Jordan Tyson and not have questions about him. He hasn't completed a full season. He's got multiple injuries, and that's what's always bothered me about him. He's got an ACL, an MCL, and a PCL. He's got the trifecta at some point in his college career. To me, if Loomis says we don't want any questions, well, I don't know how you could not have questions about Jordan Tyson. Now, he may be completely healthy. He was when he ran, 2 weeks ago? Is he going to stay? If he stays healthy, maybe he's a Pro Bowl receiver. But wouldn't that worry you if a guy had multiple injuries like that?
Well, he has moved a lot. There's no doubt about that. So he has the first offensive lineman selected. It was going to be Maoga from Miami. The favorite now is Fano from Utah, minus 130. Maoga is at plus 110, with that herniated disc and things like that. So you got to still have quite an extensive menu over here available at Bally's. So plenty of kiosk available. So
what you got a favorite pick? At the top.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, Buffalo, and it's still up there. To take a defensive lineman edge is my favorite pick. I got Baltimore to take an offensive lineman. Just a little bit, and then even money on the Rams to take a wide receiver first. So that's my three. Buffalo was in the bottom 5 in rush defense, and I mean they need some help. There's no doubt. Baltimore needs some offensive line help. Their center went to the Raiders, so I expect them to do that as well. So some people think that they're going to go wide receiver also, but pretty good price on the offensive lineman going first for Baltimore. So about plus 140 or so. So
we are here at the.
Let me see. Plus 130 now. Plus 130. Baltimore to take offensive lineman.
We're here at the sports book here at Bally's. We opened up in December, Jimmy. We were able to watch a lot of the NFL playoffs here, college football playoffs as well. The March Madness now into the NBA playoffs. We got the golf on today. Watch the NFL draft here tonight. Be front and center.
It's a great place, man. Plenty of room over here in the Oval Bar. So, video poker options here at the big Oval Bar. It's shaped like the is it the BCS trophy? That
a little bit, yeah, the bar.
It's the balls. So, we've got there's draft coverage galore over here. We got day baseball starting at noon over here. So, man, the TV is outstanding. Armando does a great job over here. So, if you need anything extra, if there's a certain game you're trying to watch as well, we got that as well. So come on by and check us out over here at the brand new Bally's Casino in the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Shows available on demand, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, as well as LouisianaSports.net. Handycast on YouTube right now on LSU Baseball. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business in 2026. Supporting our Louisiana farmers. For more information, go to supremerice.com.
Brandon McKay almost swept the board last night for us.
No YouTube feed today. We've had an issue here. So
yeah, got technical difficulties, so it happened. So anyway, download the app. You can check us out on there. So he hit the big dog. 1+164 in Anaheim, won by multiple goals. Philadelphia won by multiple goals, and man, 2 different power plays in overtime. And Minnesota could not get it done. Dallas wins it on the road. You talk about, man, these playoffs, man, the NHL and NBA. And I know we're secondary with the NHL, but damn, that's some good stuff, man. It's pretty good stuff during the week.
And I didn't get a chance to see any of the
Pistons blew out. Orlando was getting man right there to start. It used to be like that team comes out in the first half, but they went on like a 30-0 run in the third quarter. I mean, it was so the Pistons even that thing up at 1 apiece. But
the big controversy seemed to be on the Suns and Thunder and Devin Booker, who's not a demonstrative complainer.
No.
Is an excellent player, has been for a long time. Came out after the game last night and said, this is the worst officiating ever. I watched the plays. I wasn't watching this live. It was on.
It was never a single-digit game in the second half.
And I saw a lot of complaining online. Believe me, if I thought that this had influenced the game, I would have, taken a closer look at it. But, Jimmy, they look like normal plays to me. Guys like Devin Booker and SGA, they're going to get some calls. The champs are going to get some calls. The home team is going to get some calls. I was surprised that Booker was as demonstrative as he was.
Well, SGA lives at the line, and he
made all 9 of his shots last night at the line.
But he's very good at getting the defender to leave their feet, initiate contact, and he gets to the line. It's been. Some people feel it's a little bit cheap. He's kind of manipulated, but he's doing it, and he's the reigning MVP and the likely MVP again. I mean, so he's going to get a call. I mean, Devin Booker's not on the same planet as this guy is getting the same calls, but I mean, this is old as dirt. I mean, you don't think Michael Jordan got calls? You don't think Bird got calls? You don't think that all those Celtics teams? Yes.
Booker shot one more free throw than SGA last night, by the way.
No,
James Harden, those were some of the cheapest fouls we would ever see on and through multiple teams.
I mean, if a defender leaves his feet, you get what you get. I mean, so they're really good at it with the head fake, and they initiate the contact. It's come a long way. You will see some way more offensive fouls in any type of contact. It was a much higher percentage just called on the defense, on the defender, way higher. So they've come a long way. They've got the review process. I mean, you saw LeBron, who was not completely square on him when he was outside the restricted area in Game 2. 2 nights ago, and they challenged it, and they still didn't get his call. So I mean, that's who. If he can't get a call, so this had no bearing on the outcome of that game. It's a lopsided matchup. Did it matter with the spread? I mean, Phoenix still covered. I don't know, man. I just think there's so many more games where the officiating may have an impact. That had no bearing on the outcome of that game. None.
And when you say something like that in a press conference, you're getting fined, especially in the playoffs. So Booker's a smart guy. He knows when I say this, the league's going to send me an invoice. Okay, it's guaranteed. It's written in the bylaw. So you got to really be steamed to say this is worth me taking out. I don't care how little amount of money it is compared to what they make. You got to pay for it, right?
I think it's some of the build-up with the SGA thing. I think that makes more sense. I mean, it's discussed a lot, and people don't like. I don't like it. Okay, so I mean, opposing teams, you're going in to Oklahoma City. He's going to get those cheap fouls and get to the line and get those cheap points. I mean, it's what he does, but man, you gotta. And I didn't watch every single play that close to where it was, where that puts back. Maybe so, but I mean. Man, the game was never single digits,
and it was
ever in the second half.
An inordinate amount of complaining when the Sun shot 22 free throws and the Thunder shot 25 free throws. Okay,
yeah,
we've seen some of these games where one team shoots 8 free throws and
like
the other
38 to 8, yeah, something like that.
If you've got that, well, now you have to ask that question. But if you're a 3 free throw differential away and you're at home. And you're the champs, and he's the reigning MVP, that didn't seem out of way. Like I said, I was surprised, number one, where it came from, and number two.
Kind of a non-story. I mean, I know he gets fined, but I mean, this is with the Suns, what's the over-under on how many games they get in a series? A half?
Player complains about officiating, film at 11. I get it. It happens all the time.
It's out of character for Booker, but I think it's more built up but what you going to do? Oklahoma City, it's really shaping up for them, though. I mean, what are they going to take? I mean, who the Lakers and Rockets, going to They set up for that, and then so that'll be a lopsided matchup as well. Even with Luka and Reeves healthy, it's still. I mean, Oklahoma City's there. You got to lay money for them to win the conference.
The bigger story for the game was Jalen Williams leaving with a hamstring injury.
Yes,
and if that is serious,
yes.
We know how long hamstrings can linger, and they'll still win this series. But if that, they say it's an aggravated left hamstring, so we'll see. But that guy, I mean, you remember the game last year that he had in the playoffs when he had 40.
He's a big piece.
He's a very big piece.
Yeah,
so if he is out for any amount of time, that bears watching. To me, that would be not the biggest line mover, but it would certainly something I would take into account.
He won't. They're so deep that but man, he's always making game-altering plays, man. He's just on both sides of the floor. So I would be shocked if he comes back in this series. They don't need him. Time is the only thing that it cures those quads and hams and stuff like that. But and I just don't see the Lakers or Houston really challenging them as well. I think it's going to be, will Wemby come back for San Antonio? Will Denver advance? So Denver's in a fight in the first round. So, I mean, their bracket is so favorable, and they earned it. This is what you should have, the lighter bracket when you're the number one seed. And, they emphasized, they made sure, because San Antonio was coming. If they load managed at all, San Antonio was going to grab them. And they had enough of San Antonio. Should they meet them in the conference finals, they want that home court advantage.
And now both teams dealing with a significant player that is got their availability, at least for the moment.
Yeah, but San Antonio got a way tougher draw. That bottom bracket,
and it's their best player.
Yes.
I mean, Williams is important to Oklahoma City. Victor is San Antonio.
It's a little bit different as far. Yes, it's both important players, but complete. I mean, we're talking about Oklahoma City. The line might not change 1 point
if Williams.
If Williams out. Wembanyama, we're talking about 9.
It's a big deal. They barely, I know they barely lost that game the other night, but moving forward, if he's going to miss. We think he's going to miss Game 3.
I think 3, and then they'll try and reevaluate for Sunday's Game 4. So we'll see. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all your real estate closings, 296-0060. A full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you dial 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296-0060. Fresh off of his parlay that paid 11.5 to 1. Does he have? We want one more of those.
You said there weren't any more Patrick Surtains to go back. Is there another plus 1,100?
I know. I thought the same thing when it came out.
Another one of those?
Yeah, we want one just like that again. Ain't no more of those.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Dwayne Colucci gives his thoughts on the draft and some hockey picks when we come back. Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh boy, how about that? I tried to dial you back, you 3-teamer last week, and all it did pop, poppity, pop. 11.5 to 1, huh? Oh, congratulations, sir. I hope you put your. Yeah, I bet the right team.
That's important. That's important.
Right, Charlie? Come on.
Yeah, you got to get the right side. Follow instructions.
Oh, man. Very good, though. We're doing great, man. So that was to finish up the regular season, but, boy, the postseason, and it just delivers every time. I mean, I'm watching some of these game 2s the other night. I think it was 2 nights ago. I mean, every game, 5 minutes in, they fighting. Every game. It's the hockey playoffs, the NBA playoffs. We're like, this is going to be a dud after Saturday and Sunday. Man, they fire. We got the draft tonight. It is It's been unbelievable, man. I mean, it's been a great week of sports. It really has been. Your thoughts on the early returns on the NHL, man? Had a great one last night. Minnesota and Dallas double overtime.
Yeah, very exciting, Jimmy. I'll be honest with you. And, tough to handicap. It definitely makes it tough to handicap. You have teams like the Flyers that now have a 3-0 lead that are just dominating. And that's been pretty much the only series that's been like that. I mean, you look at everything else, it's coming down to the wire. Like you said, physical play in that Tampa-Montreal series. Last night, physical play. I thought the refs were a little too overzealous with the whistle last night in that game. I mean, it seemed like constantly.
The Minnesota game?
Yeah. It seemed like constantly that Dallas was on the power play. And Minnesota did a fabulous job, but Dallas came back, and they're back to playing Dallas Stars hockey that we all know, because those last couple of weeks, they were just horrible. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You saw Edmonton came right back down to earth. The dominating teams are not so dominant. Even Colorado, as good as they look, they're having trouble with the Kings. And, tonight's a big game for Ottawa. I think they're definitely going to come to play. They're a much better team, like I always say, at home. Bruins and the Sabres have been going at it. So it's just been really exciting and really great for the customer and the consumer. And no slight to the NBA. The NBA has been, very exciting as well. And you had some upsets there 2 nights ago. You saw the 2 big money lines come in with the Sixers and the Trailblazers, and that was just unbelievable. I mean, you parlay them 2, and, you make it more than the 11-1 that I gave out on the last night of the regular season. So, it's been great. Handle has been great here at the resort at Summerlin and Caesar Sports, and so many betting options. And the NHL and NBA playoffs have definitely overshadowed baseball now and taken everything over, except for that great Met losing streak that ended last night.
Oh, so what, was it a politician that
The
hugged
mayor.
The mayor?
The new mayor.
That hugged
He hugged
Mr. and
Met,
Mrs.
and
Met?
they lost 11 in a row. I think it
It was
was
12
in a row.
12 or 13 before they won last night to finally snap it. So I don't know. I got Atlanta to win the division, so I'm fine with that. So I mean, they come home. They'd lost 11 in a row. They take a 3-0 lead on. Just help me out. But Lindor hit a bomb, and then they show grimace, like, okay, here we go. We can start. They still lost. I like Minnesota today. Joe Ryan has been on fire on the hill. Soriano with 5 more shutout innings yesterday afternoon for the Angels. But, no, they just got some. I want to ask you before we get to the picks, and we do have lines out for the 3 games tonight in the NHL playoffs and the 3 tomorrow night. But I watched so much of the Dallas-Minnesota game last night. Stars recapture home ice, winning in double overtime. I kind of feel that they may exhale a little bit. Do you give me your feedback on that Saturday game? The Wild is minus 135, Dwayne.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough one. I mean, it's been such a physical series that you could hear even the announcers last night. They were basically telling you, this is going to be a long, drawn-out series. The experts that were in the, in between periods were saying the same thing. And it's been very, very physical, I'll be honest with you. I just
We lost Jordan. We lost Dwayne. Let's try and reconnect with him, and we definitely want to get his picks. He's on fire, so we'll do that. So having some fun over here. Technical difficulties today as we broadcast here from Bally's downtown. One thing we're not having technical difficulties and that is our draft menu. Our draft menu here at Bally's. They still have a lot of the menu items up. In Nevada, it's over. That window is closed. A lot of other places as well. But both at the Queen and here at Bally's, the draft menu is still available. We've reconnected. I can hear that we have Dwayne. Dwayne, I apologize, man. We're having some, but I can hear you fine now. Let's get to your picks before we get cut off again for tonight or tomorrow night's triple header in the ice. Who are we looking at?
Yeah, tonight we're definitely going with Ottawa, guys. I constantly preach it, and I'm looking for them to have a big home ice advantage tonight. And, Linus Olmark, he's been playing fabulous. I'm definitely going to lay here. I think it's in about, let me check the line.
120, 122.
Yeah, exactly. We're right in that range. We're at 125 at Caesars. So you're going to have to lay a little bit. But there's tremendous value on this team when they play at home. And I think Olmark has just been playing fabulous. And I think Ottawa puts it all together tonight. The Kings, it's tough to take the Kings against this juggernaut of the Colorado Avalanche, but they definitely have a chance. I mean, the Avalanche are 165 on the road. Kings have played them tight in both games. Kings started to play King hockey that they haven't played all regular season. So, taking a puck and a half tonight wouldn't be out of the question with the home team. I think that's the right way to go, taking the Kings with a puck and a half against Colorado. The other game is very tough to handicap. I mean, the Bruins and Sabres have been going at it. Bruins took it to them. They had the lead in the first game, so don't sell short on this Boston team. Keep an eye. This is a huge game for Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch, and the Buffalo Sabres, and we're going to see if they are up to the task. I'm not so sure. Swayman has been fabulous. I think he's been outplaying Alex Lyon thus far in this series. So kind of a layoff game for me, I'll be honest with you. But I'm definitely taking Ottawa tonight and taking the Kings plus a puck and a half. Friday night, I'm going to be back in the Canadians. You're getting even money, maybe even a plus at Montreal in the Bell Center. And this has been a physical series. I think Tampa was really playing dirty in that last game. They were going after Josh Anderson. They were going after certain Montreal players. Hagel has just been a roughhouser, and that's why he's prominent in this series. But you have to shut down Kucherov. That's the whole thing for Montreal, and they have to get that first line going. Slavkovsky has to get back to Game 1 form after getting knocked out in Game 2 by Hagel. So, he just has to rectify that. It's just a fight. You're not a fighter anyway. You're a 21-year-old stud in the NHL and a goal scorer. So put that behind you and definitely rectify that first-line issues with Caulfield definitely has to light the lamp. So I think Montreal has a tremendous chance to regain home. They have home ice and maintain home ice against this Tampa team. Dobish has been outplaying Vasilevsky as well. Huge game on Friday for the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to see how they react. They got punched in the mouth at the Fortress, got back to reality after the Tortorella winning streak. That's why you're seeing this game at a minus 110 at Caesars Sports and the Resort at Summerlin. Utah is a very, very tough out. Tough game to handicap. I'm going to have to review a little more, look at the rosters coming in. Has a chance. I gave out Utah in that last game, knowing that the Knights were going to come back down to earth. It's a tough series, very tough series for the Vegas Golden Knights. Utah matches up very well against this team. Remember, they were 43-33 in the regular season. Utah and Clayton Keller and the boys are definitely going to be hungry at home, on home ice in Utah. Definitely have a tremendous chance. The last game, Edmonton, they gave up the goal with 5 minutes last night. Anaheim took back the home ice. So Anaheim also has a tremendous chance in this game. Definitely going to be difficult to stop them. So we'll see how this series plays out. McDavid also got banged up in that game. Huge. Keep your eye on that. If Connor McDavid doesn't suit up, Anaheim is definitely the side. Plus, you're getting a plus 110 at Caesars Sports and the Resort at Summerlin at home. So looking at Anaheim, definitely, this is the playoffs now. They definitely rectified those issues down the stretch where they couldn't win.
Okay, and are you picking Utah or not? I'm trying to
I
clarify.
gotta tell you the truth. Yes, I am going to put Utah on some parlays. I like their chances against the Golden Knights. I still am not seeing Marner and Eichel score. They're getting assists and they're setting up Stone and those guys and Barbashev and Dorofeyev. But until these guys really start to play effective defense, when you're giving up 4 goals, it's tough for the Vegas Golden Knights to win. And now you're banking on Carter Hart, not Aiden Hill. So it's going to be interesting to see if Hart loses another game. Will Aiden get the start between the pipes? Will Tortorella pull the trick?
All right, Ottawa money line, Kings plus a puck and a half, Montreal right at even money, little juice plus money line, Utah minus like 105, 108, 110, and then Anaheim. So you hit a 3-teamer last week. If you put those teams together, Charlie, a 5-teamer pays $21.60. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Huh? I mean, if you
I'll take
bet
it.
the right teams now, Charlie.
You do have to do that.
All right. Colucci, we want one just like we had last Thursday. Okay.
It sounds good. I mean, we want everybody in Baton Rouge to cash big numbers. So definitely, I have no issues with that. I'd love to see everybody cash big on this parlay. And definitely round robin them, for small amounts just in case we lose a game. You can definitely pull the trigger on that round robin. So don't sell yourself short. Round robin is definitely an effective play.
Tortorelli sounds, you like that with red sauce or with like a clam sauce? Huh?
Swiss, right?
John's been around, man. Tortorella's a stud. He's a great coach. I mean, I remember he coached the Rangers, several teams, Columbus, different looks, and he definitely righted the ship here. Cassidy was hated. It's now coming out more and more out of the Golden Knight locker room that it was just unsettled, but sometimes a head coach can't lace them up. You have to understand that. The Vegas Golden Knights are still an enigma here. They're not proving that they're one of the top 3 teams there in the West. I still think Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado have an advantage over them.
All right, the draft tonight. You guys have a really nice menu at Caesars. Did any significant bets that you've taken for the draft tonight?
No, it's been consistent, though. I mean, you're seeing a lot of different angles that people are taking. We have, where guys are going to go in the first round, where they're going to go in the second round. It's just the menu has been so extensive, and in Vegas we had to take the action down. But Ty Simpson was definitely a factor in a lot of these proposition bets and where he's going to fall in the draft as the quarterback buzz gets going. Mendoza is the number 1 pick, so you could lay minus 30,000 on him to make a small amount of money. You better be looking to parlay some props there. But Newsmeyer also has come up in a lot of conversations and a lot of different angles. And the quarterbacks are always going to be focal, but you got to look for those defensive players and those offensive linemen. They also play a huge factor.
Charlie, you're talking about David Bailey now is minus $1.35, slight favorite to go number 2.
Yeah, over Arvell Reese.
Well, over everybody.
Yeah. Kaluch, your Cowboys are one of 5 teams with 2 picks in the first round tonight.
Don't screw it up.
So
Jerry's on the boat, drinking champagne.
So we could see some moves with all these teams with multiple first round picks. What do you think the Cowboys will do? Their first pick's at 12, the second one's at 20. Stay put, move up, move down. What you think?
I've been hearing a lot of buzz that they're looking to move up, but you never could tell. I mean, you know how Dallas is. That's like a coin flip, Charlie. I always, it's so difficult to get a read on what Jerry Jones in that front office is going to do. But I have been hearing a package deal that maybe you could start moving up to maybe 6-6, 6-7. Deal with the Browns a little, maybe the Commanders, but the Commanders aren't going to do much wheeling and dealing because they're in the division. So, they're probably going to end up staying put, but anything is possible with Jerry Jones. And, too bad we couldn't get a guy like Arvell Reese or Styles, but that's kind of out of the question, in my opinion. I would love to see them trade up. Maybe they can, but I don't think so.
Biggest needs, for them include cornerback, so we could see the LSU. I don't know if Delane's going to get to him at 12, but possible. Or Downs. I don't think he'll get that far either. But those are 2 other names that I would watch. Somebody's got to fall if they they get to 12, all on the defensive side of the ball. So you might end up with another LSU guy there.
Maybe even Tennessee, McCoy. Maybe. I mean,
McCoy is in play for sure.
Yeah, he definitely is in play. So it's going to be great to see how Dallas manipulates this draft and screws it up again.
The gift that keeps on giving, huh, Jerry?
The Dallas Cowboys losing tradition. It keeps going.
There you go. All right, and NBA playoffs. I mean, a lot of unders been coming in. Have they shifted some of the play to some of the unders, or we're yet right now with the NBA playoffs and where the action has been?
Yeah, everybody's been shaking it up now. They actually play defense in this round, when you get past the regular season. So it's not just a score fest. And you start to see differences, definitely in the totals. I mean, case in point, we opened tonight. Knicks 216.5. Raptors 219.5, Timberwolves 231.5, and now we're at 216, 221.5. The only one that's gone up is the Timberwolves, up to 234. So that's some significant action on the over in the Timberwolves and Denver. That's going to be a great, great series moving forward. I love to see Edwards against the Joker and, Jamal Murray and those guys. That's an excellent, excellent series. As well as the Knicks, you could see now C.J. McCollum has a chip on his shoulder, similar to Halliburton, and the Knicks hate when these singular players that shoot three-pointers, are a thorn in their side. So the Knicks better straighten that ship out real quick, blowing these 14-point leads in the fourth quarter.
Knicks are on notice.
There we go.
Yes.
There we
Straighten
go.
that ship out. Yes. Definitely.
Yes,
So,
you got Chalamet, you got Fallon, you got Spike. I mean, you got everybody.
forget Spike. I mean, forget him. He's just unbelievable. He's the champion as far as I'm concerned. As long as that guy keeps going courtside, we're losing.
Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookie Dwayne. Always a great follow. Derby week next week. That's right. We'll get you picks for that as well for the running of the Roses on the first Saturday in May. Great stuff as always. Good luck. Thanks for the picks, Kaluch. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me on. Say hi to everybody in Baton Rouge, and let's cash again this week. Let's make everybody in Louisiana happy.
There we go. Every Thursday, Dwayne Colucci with us live from the resort at Summerlin in the newly Caesars-operated outfit there. We're downtown here at the DraftKings outlet at Bally's. Still plenty of menu items for the draft tonight. Come on by here. Great place to watch the draft. Tonight, man. Plenty of room over here and the best screen in town there, no doubt about it. And, of course, our friends at the Queen down the street as well. Tommy and Scotty and those guys do a wonderful job there. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows, you got to go with Relief Windows. They look great, they're functional, and they are built to last with these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions. But we also do doors, exterior doors, French doors, sliding glass doors, siding, vinyl and hardy plank siding, shutters, in interior, exterior, and shades as well. You can check out all of our inventory online at ReliefWindows.com. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
LSU Board of Supervisors approving contracts today. The most, the lead one is A.D. Verge Osbury. His contract approved today. Will get $1.5 million by the end of 27.
Hello.
It goes up to $1.6 million and $1.7 million in the ensuing years of the deal. Also, general manager for the football program, Billy Glasscock, who we have heard nothing but wonderful things about, by the way, and the job.
Oh,
he's
the Ole Miss
doing.
fans love when they post some of his quotes.
He's well, they're not going to be very happy. But the LSU fans, I think, are going to be very happy. We've heard really good things about him. Heath Schroyer, new deputy administrator, his contract is being approved today. Schroyer at $400,000 and Glasscock at $1 million. Basketball coaches Will Wade, Rick Stansberry, Johnny Jones, Damon Stoudemire, all of that being approved today as well. Bob Starkey, longtime assistant for the men's and longer for the women's basketball program, getting an extension as well. All of that just going down here in the last half hour. Hour number 2 here at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Bally's on the day of the NFL draft. Still got some menu items available up here that you can get to. So you want to have a little something on the draft? Come down here to DraftKings.
A lot, like Troy told us, a lot of people, kind of dialing back on today. But over here at the DraftKings outlet, downtown Bally's, of course, the Queen down the street as well. Both playing. The kiosks are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We open up the windows about 11 a.m. every day. So we invite you to come on over because they got plenty of the menu items still left. So including like the trifecta, first 3 picks. You got all those different combinations. You got most of the teams. They don't have all 32, but about 22, 24 of the 32 teams, which position they'll draft. That's one that I like. Randy McKay's bet still up there. The Kansas City Chiefs to take an offensive lineman first is playing plus 250 right now. So it'll be fun, man. It's a great place to watch the draft tonight, to bet on the draft, and also we'll have the hockey, we'll have the basketball, we have baseball. It's a full plate today of sports. So a lot of fun. I'm Charlie. I think the NBA playoffs a little bit kind of blowouts last night. That first game was a little bit because I took a little bit on Detroit plus 450 to win the East. I just thought there was a little value there, and it was a little sticky for the first half, and then that blew it out. And then Oklahoma City and Phoenix, that's just a complete mismatch. But they have been much more competitive than I thought. So I'd say maybe you might get 5 of these 8 that go 6 or more. So that's kind of the breaking point. It's a quality series if it goes at least 6.
And the San Antonio series is more likely to go 6 now than it was 2 days ago with the Victor thing.
Oh, well, not just just with the win too. I mean,
if Victor plays the other night, I think they win. They won by they lost by 3, and he missed he missed 2.5 quarters.
It's weird because when he was in there, it was even Steven. I think it was basically tied when he left. Now, of course, and they still built a 14-point lead without him. So it just kind of, I don't know. It's just a dynamic. Of course, he increases their chances. I know this. The live betting adjusted when it looked like he was not going to come back. So they were still laying like minus $2 to win the game, even when it was tied. Now that thing went way up, but this Portland team. One thing about them, I think the coaches, I think the owners really screwing up, not locking him down. Man, he has done an awesome job with that, and they're not afraid, including the Jewish Jordan. That dude ain't afraid, man. So they're a little bit of a dangerous now. It's really taken on a serious tone with them, with Wembanyama out, or for how long we don't know, and them stealing that game as well.
I got to ask you about this contract yesterday. Alabama reached a new 7-year contract with Kalen DeBoer. They're going to bump his salary from $10.5 million to $12.5 million per season. Essentially, they tore up the last 5 years of the other deal and gave him a new 7-year deal. Now, here was my problem yesterday afternoon. I kind of got this.
That's the 5 years existent. That's $10 million, and then add to 25 total.
The old deal is defunct. It's 7 years at 12.5 a year. So just forget about the old contract. 7 new years at 12.5 a year.
But the difference is, it's 35 million. The 5 years times 2 increase. Mm-hmm. That's $10 million, and then $25 million on two.
Yes.
$35 million extra for
new money. Yeah.
And
new money.
And so $35 million extra, and 90% of that is on the buyout if they fire him at the end of this year.
Yes, and see,
so that's so $31.5 million increase in what you owe him when you're going to pay. Who made this? Whose idea was this?
Well,
was he leaving? No, he wasn't. So why do you have to lock him up?
You don't, and they did. Here was my problem yesterday with how this was reported. Because, and everybody, I got this while I was driving, I'm like, are you kidding? Do we have a seismic shift? It said, and the buyout is $10 million, and it goes down 2 years every year for the first 3 years. I'm like, wait a minute. They agreed to give him more money and more years on the contract, but if they fire him, the buyout's down to $10 million. No. The buyout of $10 million that goes down $2 million every year is if he takes another job, what he has to pay Alabama. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. The buyout of what they have to pay him if they fire him is still 90%, which is kind of standard in the industry.
What was his buyout? Should he leave before?
It was 90% of the $10 million,
No.
5 a year.
Should he leave? You're talking about the $10 million that.
What
we're
was
talking
it
about this
before
side
that?
of the buyout. Charlie.
Yeah. I'm not certain.
But now it's 10.
Now it's 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's 10. The new money that's gone on to the deal also, if he were to be fired, there's no offset clause. So if they do fire him, and we're talking about a younger coach here, he goes to work somewhere else, Alabama gets none of that money back.
10. So say it was $5 million. Say it was 0 to 5. I mean, he leaves you, you get $10 million. So you raised. Let's just call it different. Say it was 5 before. Mm-hmm. Okay. If it's $5 million, you're raising it 5. If he leaves you, but if you fire him, you're raising it $31.5 million.
That's correct.
Who's got the leverage? Does Alabama or DeBoer have the leverage here? They are throwing money away.
You are making a long-term commitment to a guy who we think is going into next season. I wouldn't say a scorching hot seat.
Oh, it's warm.
But it's warm, yeah. If he doesn't make the playoffs next year.
Well, they made the playoff and won a game and then got humiliated. So how was that postseason? The year before they didn't make the playoff.
They didn't make the playoff. I would have thought that if they didn't make the playoff next year, we would at least be having a conversation about whether they were going to move him. I can't tell you that for sure, but I think that you would have had, at least a little conversation there. And if they would have gone, say, we don't know who the quarterback is, 7-5 or 8-4, I would have thought he would have, been more likely to be fired than not. There was talk about that they got a little spooked when Michigan started to talk to him. Man, that ain't enough for me to give him this kind of extension.
I don't.
If Michigan was that hell-bent on getting him and he wanted to leave, I'd have let him go. Alabama hasn't had to deal with their coach being wooed for a very long time, with the exception of when Mac Brown was retiring at Texas, and they made a play at Saban, and giving Saban whatever he wanted was perfectly justified. But before that, they didn't have to try to keep Mike Shula. They didn't have to keep Mike DeBose. They didn't have to keep Francione left on his own. Price left out of the strip club. Stallings they had to fire because of the NCAA stuff. They haven't had to deal with a coach being really seriously wooed, except for that deal with Texas, in a long time. I don't get this. I don't get this.
It's dumb. This is like LSU locking up Miles, when Arkansas came knocking.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's that dumb to
call a bluff.
leave
is he so good that you can't replace him?
It's misdirected. The coach at the other sport, they a lot of people want him. Oates. No, he's coveted by a lot of schools out there. Not DeBoer, but DeBoer wasn't. Come on, man. He wasn't going. Michigan wasn't hiring him. His stock is, a Florida State,
which is a pretty good job.
A Louisville.
If Alabama fired him tomorrow, he would get a Power
Ole
5.
Miss.
He would get a Power 5 job, and I think he would get a mid to high Power 5 job. I'm not
Baylor.
At least.
Okay, but you telling me his 2 years there, a success? No, it's pretty flat, man.
Flat is a good word. I wouldn't call it a failure.
Is that a flat program of expectations?
No. If you just look at it in a vacuum, I think it's flat. If you look at it from Alabama fans' standpoint, they think it's been a failure because they think it's their birthright to win the damn thing every year. I think
let's look reason. Fans are fans. These are the people. These are administrators. This is not a fan putting this thing together. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's. I know you love to harp on that, but this is an administrator. These are people in a time where everybody's strapped for cash. We want more player budget. You just got to throw $31 million away. We're talking about when LSU made the move. How are they paying these coaches not to coach? How do you put yourself on the hook for $31 million more when he doesn't have any leverage? Not for this job. I mean, you telling me if DeBoer went to Michigan, God bless, because I don't think he was a serious candidate there. I'm sorry. I don't think his stock is that high. Like Virginia Tech, something like, was he a Penn State type of guy?
If I was Penn State, I could have seen hiring him. Yeah, I think the guy's a good coach. I think he's in a situation over there where it's impossible expectations for him. And here's another facet of it that I would have argued against if I'd have been in that meeting. If he wins, okay, he's going to get a raise. He's going to get an extension. If they make a run and they win a national championship, don't you think they're going to have to give him a raise? Or they're going to feel obligated?
This reminds me of the Oklahoma move with Venables.
Yeah.
When he was on the hot seat, I mean, his seat is warm. I mean,
all you're doing is increasing your liability with virtually no chance that this guy's going to go anywhere.
So part of it is he has unrealistic expectations because you're following Saban. But also, Saban left the program in pretty good shape.
Yes.
Alabama's there's a lot of things in place to be competitive, and flat is not the expectation for Du Bois. I'm sorry, not making the playoff the first year, and keep in mind they won their fair share of 50-50 games last year too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Vanderbilt uncharacteristic turnovers in the red zone and stuff like that. Now, they lost one they should have had in Oklahoma, but they won more 50-50 games than they lost.
Now, I'll tell you a scenario I could have seen is if they go into this season, say they make the playoffs and lose in the first round, he's not getting fired. A job that's attractive to him opens up, and I can't tell you what's attractive to him. I could have seen him going Francione and saying, you know what? Life's too short.
Yeah, no. Well, doing Saban, getting the hell out of the Dolphins and getting the best available.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah.
I'm not saying he would go down and take a group of 6 job, group of 5 job, but if there was a Power 5 job that opened up,
didn't Mike White do that? We went from Florida to Georgia
in basketball. Yeah, he thought he was about to get fired.
But when it's
Francione left Alabama for TCU, okay, voluntarily. That's 25 years ago, but he didn't like that fishbowl. Frog was a good coach, but over there he didn't.
No,
I could have seen DeBoer doing that. He's got I think teenage kids who are hearing this crap every day about your dad's a lousy coach, and but that can happen anywhere. But it happens there more. You can block it out as the coach. Your family, when you come home and they're booing, they're booing your kid at a youth league game. I'm sorry, but that stuff has happened there before. And look, LSU ain't perfect. Our fans are not perfect here either. But over there, it's extreme.
He knew that going in, but I mean,
he did.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with his contract.
No.
Okay,
no.
His contract is so unnecessary, and this is such a dumb move, and where everybody's looking for more money, looking for more budget, and Alabama's got all the leverage in this thing, and now I can't believe they just created themselves an additional $31 million ticket. I cannot believe it.
They did. And this is just a few weeks after. Now, they did bump Oates. Now, Oates, I think,
Oates is coveted.
Oates was a real threat to leave.
Oates, you think it's easier to win basketball or football games in Alabama? Do you think he inherited more things in place to be competitive in basketball than what he inherited on following Saban?
Their building's falling down too. They got him up to a top 5 job. Top 5.
One guy is exceeding the expectations of their program unbelievably, and one guy is flat. Kentucky basketball ain't flat. LSU baseball ain't flat. Alabama football shouldn't be flat.
He gonna be a rich guy if they ever have to find a rich guy.
I mean, you think he's gonna last this year?
No, well, he might last this year.
You think he's gonna be back for 2027?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now I do. I mean, they got to give him $80 million if they fire? Yes, now I do. But if he'd have been on that original contract, I'd have put it at 50-50. But with this contract, yes, I think he'll definitely be back in 27 now. Now he can go 7-5 next year and keep his job. Yeah, I don't know if he could have done that before. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store in LaRose and Lockport. Now, have lumber out of all 4 of your locations. Delivery available out of Pierre Part and Lockport. So if you're building this spring, Get your lumber and all of your building supplies taken care of out of the Thibodeau store. You can go to thethibodeaustore.com, get to all 4 sites. You're doing some lawn and garden sprucing up here as we're getting well into the spring now. 50% off of lawn and garden supplies. Shop now on the website. Same-day pickup or delivery available on a number of these items. Lawn chairs and other patio equipment, poolside chairs are all on special right now at the website, and outdoor cooking and outdoor power equipment available for you. Again, it's thethibodeaustore.com, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and Highway 70 in Pierre Park. Live at Bally's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here at Bally's Live at Lunch. Also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff. Well, for years, they've done a great job for our family. So if you got neck pain, back pain, muscle soreness, things that are keeping you from getting around or interrupting a good night's sleep, let them help you out, get you into a program that will target those problem areas and get you to feeling better. Whether it's just an exercise and stretching program or you need dry needle or electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy, the number of techniques can get you to feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. All right, Saints at number 8. I'm going to run the full gambit on you, Jimmy.
Yep.
Everybody that I think is remotely possible that the Saints could take, you tell me if you're okay with the pick. Let me start off with Cornell Tate, if he gets to him, the wide receiver from Ohio State. Okay,
yeah.
We both agree. We would. It's not my first choice, but I would be fine with that. I don't think he's going to get there, but I got to put Jeremiah Love up there. Would you be okay if they took Jeremiah Love? I would have before they signed Etienne. I would not be now. Of course, I didn't like the idea they signed a 27-year-old running back to a 4-year contract, but that under the bridge, I don't think that's going to come up. But I would have been before. Now, no, somewhere else. Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State.
Sure.
I think he's worth the pick. I just don't see where that is a need for New Orleans. And Demario Davis leaving, they put a bunch of money in Caden Ellis, who's been with them before. They know the player. That's where their money's at. I think Styles will be a fantastic pro. Not where I would make this pick if I was New Orleans. Not because he's not worth it. Francis Maioga, the offensive lineman from Miami.
No.
They've invested plenty of money at tackle, and even if they thought about moving somebody into guard, plus he's got the disc problem that's scaring some people off. Ruben Bain.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, Ruben Bain.
Yes.
Yes, we're both. In fact, given my, likeliest scenarios, he's my pick. I would take Ruben Bain. Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State.
Yes.
I would, and they may very well take him if he is available. He's listed as a safety, but he's more than that. He would come up. He would basically be a box safety. He would play a lot of nickel. There are more than one group of people, touts or scouts, whatever, that think he is either the best player in this draft or the second best player in this draft. He excelled at Alabama and Ohio State. Kind of hard to do better than that. So the safety thing may scare some people off. If they took Caleb Downs, I'm completely fine with that.
I'm not crazy about that last comment. So I think when you surround yourself by a bunch of great players, it's easier to have success at places like Alabama and Ohio State.
Fair enough, but you're also facing the absolute elite competition, and the expectations are higher.
Oh, but go to Vandy and stick out against SEC competition.
Okay, but if you stick
it's
out,
easy. It's football, Charlie. When you're surrounded by better players, it makes it easier for you.
I get that, but it's also when you line up the Ohio State roster and you say, well, who's the best 3 or 4 guys? And you say, that's one of the 3 or 4 best guys among that group.
No, that's putting it differently.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, how many games did they play where they had inferior personnel?
Ohio State?
0.
Yeah, in the regular season, none.
No, they had better players than Miami too. They just got beat.
1-85, yeah. They 1-85. Ohio
the
State.
1-25. The ones that play.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about 85. The ones that play.
Say you're too deep. 1-40. Pick a number. Ohio State's 1 or 2 in talent, no matter what your measuring stick is.
Ohio State had the most talent in the country last year.
And year over year, the only team that I think consistently had more talent than them was Alabama when Saban was there. Maybe Texas got them one or 2 years, but mostly it's them. So that's, and look, for all of the criticism of the Saints drafts and some of the things they've done, them investing in Ohio State players is not a bad strategy.
Ohio State's players have had a pretty good track record of success at the next level, despite I would say Alabama's had their fair share of busts because they were hidden, because they were surrounded by better players.
Yeah,
and well coached.
The Saints have had pretty good success with the Ohio State players. Olave has been a good player. Werner's been a good player. Lattimore was a good player. Thomas, before he left, Thomas was a good player. Thomas was better than a good player.
Doesn't mean, but this guy's different. I mean, they've had a good run, but that doesn't. I don't. You got to be careful. I don't know where that has any bearing on. We're evaluating this guy, what he's done. He's got great instincts. He's around the ball. He knows how to tackle. How about that? He's maybe the best tackler. He does so many good things. He's a ball player, man.
Yeah.
He's a ball player.
Let's keep going. Mansour Delane.
Absolutely. I'm good with him.
Yeah. Jordan Tyson.
Man, that's a tough one.
I'm a no, and I could end up looking really dumb because this guy is, by all accounts, healthy now. Doesn't mean he's going to stay healthy, but he's healthy right now, and might, if he stays healthy, could be a multiple-time All-Pro. He's got that kind of talent. I wouldn't gamble on multiple injuries in college, not just minor nagging things.
Missed a third of his games.
Yeah, ACL, PCL, MCL. I mean, you got the trifecta in there.
How many guys missed a third of their games at college? None of the guys you mentioned.
No, none of the guys.
No, he's an injury risk.
Yeah, to me, that's an unnecessary risk to take at 8. If you have to have a receiver and Tate's gone, take Mekhi Lemon.
This is not a typical 8 draft either. Pick. Okay, everybody's got little marks. Everybody.
Yeah.
Even Downs is not the biggest guy. Is he going to hold up? At this level.
I agree with you. There are fewer sure things, but he's got more red flags. And I'm going to usually these pre-draft press conferences don't mean anything, but Loomis did say one thing yesterday that caught my attention. He says you shouldn't have any question marks with a player at 8, or at least very few question marks with a player at 8. Tyson's got question marks. I mean, he's got a lot of question marks.
Everybody's got question marks that you mentioned. Every one of them.
I think he has more.
What?
I think he has more.
Well, yes, it's kind of, we talked about it. He missed a third of his games. Nobody else has.
So you said it's a tough one. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. And I think that's it. I can't imagine anybody. If they draft somebody that's not in that group that I just mentioned, I'm not really sure who it would be. Mekhi Lemon, I guess you got to put him in there if you wanted to.
No.
If you really want a receiver and the top
that's
two are
reaching,
gone.
Man. That's just it's too early.
He is penciled into. You like the Rams to take a receiver, you said?
Oh, 100%.
Well, that is a very, very common draft. Mock draft is Lemon at 13 to the Rams. I don't see anybody else that the Saints would take. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, I would say no. So
well, the Sadiq is just he can do things for his size that nobody else can. But when you watch the film, I want more out of than a combine guy. I mean, not tremendously productive. So, but he is going to go in the top 15. But and he might slip in there. He might slip into the top. He can do. He's a very interesting prospect.
Do you get credit?
But I mean, he doesn't. For those measurables, dude, he should be dominating more, and he didn't.
I think I know the answer to this, but do you get credit on the Rams taking a receiver if they take a tight end?
No.
Okay, because he could go there. He's been mocked in a couple. Lemon more, but he's been mocked in a couple too, and he'd be a heck of a weapon.
Lemon completely different. He's got all kinds of production, but in more of a system, in Lincoln Riley's system, and he's limited to the slot. So,
but he is a dog when he goes get the ball, man. He for a little receiver, he it seems like he gets every 50-50 ball. Is he college? I get it, but I like him. I think he's going to be a really, really good player.
He's going to be careful because
I wouldn't take him at 8, but I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, I mean, I would. He's kind of this draft. I mean, like the second best receiver, you can't play on the outside. Second draft. How many guys are going to come after him? If the second of maybe 25 receivers are going to get drafted in this draft, is limited. So it's kind of this draft, man.
But you know what's propping him up? If you're looking at a comparable, Smith and Jigba plays nothing but in the slot, and he was the offensive player of the year. So, yeah, he might be limited, but you can be pretty good from that position.
I don't see Smith and Jigba when I see this guy, and I'm talking about, my opinion when he was coming out of college.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see that this guy.
I don't quite like him that much. I can't tell you he's going to be a future offensive player of the year, but I think he's going to be a really good pro.
Yeah.
I like the physicality for somebody who's not as big.
They played. We got a long way to go before we start to talk the same breath of Mekhi Lemon and Amon St. Brown. An undersized slot receiver who is a dog.
Well,
okay?
I never said a St. Brown because St. Brown will also block. I don't know.
I've heard some of those comparisons.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't make that comparison.
And some people forget that they were coached by. They went with the USC, but they were coached by different guys.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't make that comparison.
No,
St. Brown's a physical.
He's on a level. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got. But I have heard some people. Mention those two together. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. My buddy Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance, man. The air condition breaks down. It's hot now. That last little cold spell is done. We are grinding those AC units now, stressing them more. And so if you call today, you'll get service today. Nobody sleeps hot when they call 480-1000 Total Maintenance. We're factory authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. Membership programs are the smart way to go. Covers all services with discounts and extended warranties. And we'll let you know when it's time for your unit to be serviced. You got more than enough on your plate to worry about that. And so when you need your unit to get a checkup, call our friends at Total Maintenance 480-1000 480-1000.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, it's draft day. Let's go out to Las Vegas. VSiN's Matt Humans joins us right now. We know he's got a full plate. Did his own mock draft as well. Matt, what's up?
Hey, ready for the draft tonight. We're going to do a 4-hour show on VSiN, Tim Murray and I, and looking forward to it. DraftKings is going to have up 5 lines. I'm not sure if FanDuel is doing something similar, but I think this is going to be a pretty wild top 10 with probably at least a couple trades on the way.
What bets have you made to this point?
Got a lot, man. I actually played this over 1.5 quarterbacks a long time ago. I bet that 3 times. So I'm really hoping Ty Simpson goes somewhere in the first round tonight. And I'm going to be a little bit nervous about that, sweating that out in probably the final 10 picks. Hoping that the Arizona Cardinals straight up to get him. I think there's a pretty good chance that's going to happen. So I played quarterbacks over. Ty Simpson, drafted by the Cardinals, plus 130. I took wide receivers in the first round, under 5.5, plus 125. And I think the guy most likely to slip out of the first round right now would be Casey Concepcion of Texas A&M, but we'll see how that plays out. I think it's a really deep draft for wide receivers. Exact order of the top 3. Mendoza, Bailey, Love at 5-1 odds. David Bailey, number 2. Sonny Styles, number 4 at plus 450. Caleb Downs at number 10, 3-1. I know Caleb Downs is coveted by the New York Giants. I don't know if they're going to take him at 5 or 10. Nobody knows because, like I said, a couple trades could really jumble this top 10 and how the dominoes fall. This one I like, and I added 2 days ago. Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech linebacker, to be drafted in the first round, 4-1. Let's see. Yesterday, the last bet, I added position of the Ravens' first draft pick, offensive line, plus 130. I think they're going to take Vega.
I've got that too.
The Penn State guard.
Yeah, from Penn State. Vega, I own. I think he's going to go to the Ravens at number 14 if I had to pick specifically why. So took that one. Took the Steelers to draft a lineman first, plus 160. Same with Chargers, plus 155. Niners, even money. Offensive line. Seahawks, first draft player, corner, plus 150 with that last pick of the first round. Bills, first draft player, linebacker, plus 750. And also, Hanny's favorite prospect, Diego Pavia, draft position over 200.5 at minus 200. I don't think Pavia is going to get drafted, but 200.5 is middle of the sixth round, so I took that over.
Diego's got a cousin named Hanny Pavia, so yeah. So
I don't know how I got I don't know how I got labeled with that. He's a guy who's ability enough to be brought into a camp, but if you're going to be a pain in the ass too, I mean, you got to be really good to be a pain in the ass. He's just, at Vandy's was worth all of that. Seahawks trade out of the first round. Matt, you still good with your position pick? If that, I'm asking because that pick's the last pick
player
in the first
drafted.
round. So it doesn't matter where. Where they are, they'll have to be in the first round. Okay.
And how much?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for like Arizona to move up a couple of spots, so they would still have the option, a fifth-year option on a first-round pick with Simpson.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson was taken last
32nd. Yeah.
So.
Teddy Bridgewater was also the last pick of the first round.
It'll be interesting. I do have one difference from you, Matt. I got Buffalo taking a defensive lineman edge guy instead of a linebacker. So that's one. I got in the Rams. I know it's only even money now, but I got the Rams to take a wide receiver. I mean, got to capitalize now on as long as they have Stafford. Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good bet. I think the Rams right now to take wide receiver minus 135. So if you guys,
it's even money at DraftKings.
Well, said that's a good bet. Actually, I like that bet quite a bit. I'd be surprised if they don't take wide receiver. They might even trade down a little bit. You know what's interesting about this Ty Simpson thing too is Mike LaFleur, the new coach of the Cardinals, who is McVay's offense coordinator. LaFleur really, really wants Ty Simpson. And I know this from a couple different sources. I know it's being reported. It's out there. It's true. But Sean McVay likes Simpson a lot, too. And these two guys worked together last year. Simpson could be a Rams backup to Matthew Stafford, a player that McVay grooms as the next starting quarterback for the Rams. But he'd be a really good fit in that offense, too. So there's got to be competition in the market for a team to want to trade up. And I think that might be the only competition is the Rams and the Cardinals, both liking Ty Simpson. So maybe that's why the Rams try to jump up there, or the Cardinals jump up there, or the Rams try to trade down from number 13. I don't know. I think Todd McShay had Simpson to the Rams number 13 in his mock draft. I don't see that happen, Jimmy. I don't think that draft Simpson that high. I think they would trade down, if anything. And I still believe a wide receiver is going to be the Rams' first pick. But
no, come on, man. They're trying to capitalize while they still have Stafford. Stafford, that's the best year he's ever had. I mean, even when they won the Super Bowl, he led the league in interceptions. I mean, it's the best. They're not looking for the future right now. And when's that organization ever look for the future?
And if they absolutely coveted Ty Simpson that much, wouldn't they have kept that second first-round pick, which is where he would have slotted in?
Simpson killed him. He should have played another year in college, man. Get more reps. I'm looking at it right now, Matt, because we're at a DraftKings outlet today here downtown Bally's in Baton Rouge. Now plus 110, Rams to take a wide receiver. So getting a little bit of juice right now. Baltimore is minus 110 to take an offensive lineman. So they don't have all 32 teams, including our New Orleans Saints, but they have about 25 of them still available, the first player drafted. So we'll see about that. I'm curious.
It's great those props are still up on draft day, too, because in Nevada you got to pull those off 24 hours before the draft. But I sent in, I had a friend of mine play some of these last night and today, and DraftKings are going to keep these up all the way to the start of the draft today. That's what Johnny Avello told me, and they're going to have live lines up today too. So I still agree with you. I think it's Rams receiver with the first pick. Hopefully it's Ravens offensive line with that first pick. And with the Rams, I believe the Rams were the best team in the NFL last season. They kind of got robbed in that game in Seattle in December, had to go back there, play the playoff game, lost another close one. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. I think the Rams should be drafting for right now, not the future. I don't think you take Ty Simpson in the first round when you got a team that could power rate is number one in the NFL right now. You got to draft players who can make an impact and help you win the Super Bowl now.
Matt, before we get to but I know it's different. We're talking about Alabama quarterback, but Alabama increased their buyout if they fired DeBoer by $31.5 million yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, we're kind of immersed into this stuff, and we've got our opinions about how unnecessary was that? I mean, were people beating down the door? It's like DeBoer had a better job waiting. I mean, it was. I don't know, man. There's a lot of unrealistic expectations, but in an era where every athletic department strapped for money, they just threw some away yesterday.
Couldn't agree more. I saw that, and I said, why? Well, what's the point? Because Kalen DeBoer just got beat 38-3 by Indiana in the college football playoff. He got completely outcoached, outclassed by Curt Cignetti. And I don't think his market value is that great right now. And let's say Alabama fired him this year. Who's going to be running to pick up Kalen DeBoer right away? I think he's a good coach. I like him. But you don't need to do this at this point. And maybe Nick Saban, telling people, hey, this is our guy. We got to keep him. Got to lock him up. They're going to listen to Saban. I don't know why you would do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I thought he did a really poor job, actually, as Alabama coach last year. So why reward him? Why do that contract? I'm with you. I was scratching my head. I'm just curious what you guys thought about that, too.
Well, everything we just said, plus there apparently is no offset in this deal. If he gets another job, that money's not offset. So Jimmy and I were having this conversation. If he got fired, what do you think? We gave our opinion. We think he could get a mid-Power 5 job, mid to high Power 5 job maybe even.
Right.
Well, which Michigan State, just to pick a school, okay, $7-8 million a year. They get none of that. And so what do you think Kalen DeBoer's market value would be if Alabama fired him after next year?
Not that great. That's what I said. I don't think he's going to get one of the. I don't think he would get one of the top power conference jobs. I think it would be kind of a second tier type power conference job because you got everything you need. You got all the resources you need to win at Alabama. I know it's tough to follow Saban, and people expect you to walk in the door and win championships right away. But you can't be as bad as, and let's say it's relatively speaking, as bad as Alabama was last year. When I say bad, a 35-point loss to Indiana in the playoff is bad. So I don't think his market value is that high.
Virginia,
I could not believe it when I read the contract.
I know. So more Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and not Michigan, Penn State.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're on the same page. Hey, Matt, real quick, I know, but I've been with you at the Westgate before. The news that they're going to take over. Look, we like all the mobile sites, but part of me, man, I don't want another legitimate bookie, bookmaker setting their own lines and things like that is going by the wayside. What went through your mind with that news that Caesar's taking over the Westgate?
So I knew this was going to happen for about 6 months because the owner of the Westgate died. His family is taking over. They're looking to sell out the sports book. And, Circus Sports and Derek Stevens actually had been sniffing around there, too. And I've known this is going to happen, so I wasn't shocked like a lot of people when I read it. It's disappointing, obviously, not just for the people we know there. They got a really talented crew, oddsmakers. And John Murray's the guy who runs it now. Hopefully he's retained because you need somebody to run the book for customer service, run the super contest, things like that. But it's, consolidation sucks for everybody in the market because now you have one fewer line. And consolidation's just bad for the bettors. And you hate to see this continue to happen in Vegas. I will say that the Caesars William Hill product is pretty good. You know, it's everybody right now is bashing this, and I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. But the Caesars William Hill product is not that bad. In fact, I was betting some draft props out there, and Caesars William Hill had a much better NFL draft menu than the Westgate's got. But yeah, it's just a sign of the times, man. That's a sign of the future that a lot of these sports books. It just happened to our buddy Dwayne Colucci out at the Rampart.
Right.
So this is happening. Right. There's no way around it.
Matt, we appreciate it. Good luck to you tonight, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, you too. You bet. Thanks.
All right. We still have lots of menu items over here at the DraftKings outlet, downtown Bally's, and at the Queen. And we're going to, as Matt said, so you're going to have some live betting opportunities, too, for the menu while the draft is going on over here at Bally's and the Queen.
A little over 6 hours to the first pick of tonight's draft. Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we welcome you back here at Bally's NFL Draft tonight. A little over 6 hours away. Menus is still open. Jimmy, I know he's not listening, but if I could give some advice to Mickey Loomis, who I know values my opinion a great deal with how nice I've been over the years to him, I would just say this. Take a look back at last year's draft when you made no trades and you just let the draft come to you. Look at the results. And then look at all the years where you panicked and you had to have somebody and you traded a bunch of draft capital and moved up, and look how those drafts worked out. Your results, not mine. All I'm saying. Because the rumors of a Saints move up to number 3 continue to persist. That would upset me.
In a draft where everybody's looking to move down.
Yeah. And I understand that they won't move down, couldn't move down even if they wanted to. There's no reason to move up. There's really no reason for the New Orleans Saints to move up. If the Kansas City Chiefs, who have the 9th pick in the draft, said, hey, you know what, we got to get in the top 3 so we can pick whoever the guy is, because we got Patrick Mahomes and we think he'll be back and we can win the Super Bowl, that's one thing. Saints, no. Keep your picks. Take your picks. Take the best player available. Let's get on down the road. Get here down the road to Bally's to make your picks for the NFL Draft, with the menu still open for tonight's 7 o'clock first pick. Enjoy the afternoon. Tomorrow we'll be at Rufino's. For Jordan back in the studio and all of us out here, have a great afternoon. And stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.